What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So one of the things I want to discuss, because we've been getting a lot of questions about this, is how strong is our economy? Are we really going to see an economic collapse? Well, I want to address what's happening right now. I want to talk about how you can prepare for this emergency and why the jobs market is actually not as strong as some people say it is. So I want to address what's going on here. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. So here's actually what we're seeing. First off, we're about to see a housing crash. Now, I don't think we're gonna see, let's just back up for a second. Are we gonna see a 2008 style financial crash where the economy just comes crumbling down? I don't think we're gonna see that. However, there are multiple financial experts that do predict and have been telling their clients on Wall Street that something worse than the 2008 financial crisis could actually happen. And this is because there's so many different things that are going on right now. We got a pandemic that's still ongoing here in the United States and across the world as well. We have multiple financial issues that's going on. Got a housing crisis. We got potentially monkeypox. That's something else we got to look out for, right? And we have supply chain issues. So there's a lot going on here. And then throw in on top of all that, then we have a midterm election coming up. We got a presidential election coming up in 2 years. So again, there's a lot of stuff to discuss. But the jobs market, where's it at? How strong is it? Because here's what we know. And while all this stuff's happening, we are seeing more layoffs in tech and in the finance industries as well. We're also seeing there's some mixed signals as far as retail, because some stores are hiring more employees. Other stores are actually laying off their employees, which is interesting that that's happening at this time. We're also seeing, and again, this is interesting, and I kind of experienced this as well, the travel industry. The travel industry is trying to hire more people. The problem there is there's not a lot of people that want to work in the travel industry, right? And so obviously you see different background behind me. I had to travel for work, for some business stuff for the yesterday and today, and that's going to be the issue. Is kind of that what we're seeing at this where I'm staying is there's not a lot of workers. There's not a lot, and that's the issue. Is some don't want to come back to work, right? So again, major issues there. But here's the problem, and again, let me know your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. But according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, their current employment statistics report that was recently released, it states that we've finally regained all the jobs that we've lost during the pandemic. So that's good news, right? Well, here's the issue. In a recent report, it shows that 152.5 million jobs were filled, and that puts us above pre-pandemic levels. But this is also where we start seeing problems, because right now, again, inflation's still high. We know this. 8.5%, that's ridiculously high. Food prices are up more than expected. Utilities are still very expensive. Housing is not affordable for the majority of Americans living here in the United States. And honestly, all other expenses are up as well. They're rising in many cases. Now, the American people have to work more hours, or the alternative is we don't work more hours, but we work another job. Right? So it's either or. Most people can't just say, yeah, I'm fine right where I am. I don't need to work any more hours. Don't need to pick up another job. I'm perfectly fine. Most people can't do that because of all the additional expenses. Well, this is where the current Bureau of Labor Statistics report is very misleading, because again, they're saying we're above the pre-pandemic levels. Well, according to the Federal Reserve Bank out of St. Louis, 5%. 5% of the workers here in the United States hold a second job. 5%. That means out of the 152 million workers that currently have a job, 7.6 million of those people have a second job. Now, in most cases, this means that they will hold a full-time job and a part-time job as well. Some will actually hold 2 full-time jobs, which is very difficult. Others will actually hold 2 part-time jobs to make up 1 whole one. So again, that's kind of what we're seeing. But the issue here is in the reports of the 152 million workers, which again is above pre-pandemic levels. The problem there is every one of these people, every one of these 7.6 million people is accounted for, okay? Accounted for twice. That kind of means if you start taking those people out, are we really above pre-pandemic levels? And that's where some say, no, we're not. And that's where the jobs report is actually misleading. And that's where economists like Peter Schiff are saying that, well, even though the employment rate is looking good, right? It's low, it's very low. We are seeing massive inflation, which is great if you hold assets, but if you don't hold assets, well, you're kind of stuck. But what he's saying is, we're not seeing a great economy like everyone else is saying, and what government officials are telling us. That's not what we're seeing. So again, it's very concerning if you look at that. Now, let's address what should you do, right? How do you prepare for an emergency like this? Well, here's what experts recommend. And I've been saying this for quite some time. And again, I'm no expert, but what experts are recommending is if you got one job, get a second. Get another income source. If you have two jobs, get a third. Maybe you hold 2 part-time jobs. Well, maybe you can get 2 part-time jobs plus a third one. You have 3 part-time jobs. Let's say each one you get 30 hours a week. Okay, great. You get 30 hours from one, 30 from another, 30 from another equals 90 hours. That, I know, again, many people don't want to work 90 hours a week, but if that's what you have to do to make ends meet for this time period, that's kind of what you gotta do. You gotta do whatever you can to just survive. So that's what some are saying. Now, the reason for taking on multiple jobs or taking on additional hours from your current employer is very simple. You just want to put more money into the bank. However you can do it, just put more money into the bank. If you can be consistent with this, I know it's tough, but spend less money, bring more in. The best part about that is your savings will actually go up. You can afford a small emergency. And if we continue to see inflation throughout 2022 and likely deep into 2023, which many people are expecting as well, even President Biden expects this. And I know some people don't like when I reference President Biden because they say, well, he just continues to lie. Well, the numbers don't lie. Chances are we're going to see inflation all the way through 2022. That's my expectation. And I think we're going to see it deep into 2023. So that's kind of where we're at. And again, we are seeing the housing market cool, and this is coming very quickly. So for all those people that were trying to tap into their equity from their home and pull money out there, well, they can't really do that anymore. They just can't afford it. We know some CEOs on Wall Street have been expecting the stock market crash, and they're actually telling their clients, especially their wealthier clients, that let's just be aware of this, because we're starting to see some companies lay off employees. As inflation is obviously hurting us, but as rising rates from the Federal Reserve, that's also hurting as well. So that's kind of what we're expecting. We are here in the United States. Here's the major problem, is we're highly dependent on China. And so I bring this up because if you want a strong jobs market, first off, everyone's thinking, well, let's just bring all the jobs back to the United States. That would fix things, right? Yes and no. It would mean we have more jobs available. It would mean we are going to get paid more. We're producing here in-house within our borders, which is great. The problem is we're going to see additional inflation. So is that the answer right now, to bring over all those jobs, all the manufacturing from China? 1, it's going to be too expensive. 2, it's not going to happen immediately. And 3, it's going to cause additional upward pressure on inflation. So that's why some are saying that the jobs market is not as strong as many people are saying it is. The economy is not as strong as many people have been predicting. And we are in a major crisis, but we don't know it yet. We just haven't realized how bad this is going to get. So just wanted to fill you in on what's going on there. Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.